Members of the committee who have just come in to introduce themselves.
Honorable Chair, my name is Anthony Akol. I represent my village mates of Kilak North in Amuru district in the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Akol. I think, let me now hand over to you, Honorable Minister, so that you make a presentation to the committee on the MPS on PPDA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as you are aware, I presented the Ministerial Policy Statement in the House for the Ministry of Finance and all the agencies under the Ministry, among which PPDA is one of them. I am therefore here this morning to formally present the Ministerial Policy Statement for PPDA in the committee and also to speak to it. Mr. Chair, I will give a few highlights and then invite the Chief Executive Director to make a detailed presentation. Mr. Chair, briefly about PPDA. PPDA is mandated to regulate public procurement and disposal systems in Uganda. The mandate of the authority is aligned under Program 3 of the NDP4, i.e. governance and security, development plan implementation, and private sector development. Mr. Chair, the key achievements for the vote in the period under review are the following. 1, launch of the reservation scheme guidelines for the youth, women, and PWDs. Excuse me. Mr. Chairman and colleagues, following the 2021 amendment of the PPDA Act, Cap 205, the authority issued reservation schemes on promoting the participation of the registered associations of women, youth, and people with disabilities. The guidelines removed barriers like bid security and others that would hinder youth, women, and PWDs' participation in the public procurement. This has enhanced participation of special interest groups in business opportunities with government. The guidelines provide for reserved procurements by procurement budget and reserved procurements by value. Achievement 2 is promotion of local content. Mr. Chairman, the authority has promoted reservation schemes that are aimed at ring-fencing defined procurement opportunities for local providers as a form of affirmative action, increasing the use of local labor, goods and services in public sector projects. PDEs are required to apply these schemes based on value thresholds below which a foreign participant is restricted. These thresholds include road works up to Uganda shillings 45 billion, other public works up to Uganda shillings 10 billion, supplies and consultancy services up to Uganda shillings 1 billion, and non-consultancy services up to Uganda shillings 200 million. Achievement 3 is launch of the guidelines on the grain and grain products. The guideline is intended to control the quality of grain and grain products traded on the Ugandan market and the need to comply with the national standards. The need for these guidelines was informed by the fact that Uganda's grain or grain products form a major item of commodity trade within the East African community, but had been rejected across the region for not meeting the minimum quality standards. This is due to poor post-harvest management practices that led to contamination with aflatoxins. The guideline, therefore, is intended to enforce compliance with the grain standards, to protect human and animal health, and promote cross-border trade of Uganda grain and grain products. Achievement 4 is development of the standard bidding document. Mr. Chairman and colleagues, the authority issued 17 standard bidding documents, of which 16 were updated and 1 new standard bidding document developed. The updated guidelines have embedded aspects of sustainable public procurement to ensure enhanced public value derived from public procurement. Achievement 5 is on procurement audits conducted. The authority undertook monitoring of the procurement and disposal systems in the country through a number of contract audits, compliance inspections, and bid preparation audits, particularly on high-value infrastructure projects. This is aimed at enhanced efficiency and effectiveness of the procurement system to deliver public value. Achievement 6, the authority undertook a study to develop unit cost framework for road and bridge infrastructure. Mr. Chairman and colleagues, the authority is undertaking a comprehensive study to determine the indicative unit costs for road and bridge construction across various road types in Uganda. The main objective of the study is to establish an indicative unit cost framework for the construction of national, urban, and district roads and bridges across Uganda's regions. This framework will be essential in informing the costing of road and bridge infrastructure projects in Uganda to achieve value for money derived from public infrastructure projects. Achievement 7 is support to the rollout of EGP, which Honorable Moses is always concerned about. Mr. Chair, the authority, together with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ministry of ICT and NITA-U, are in collaboration to roll out and implement EGP. The authority's role in this regard is mainly on change management. The effective implementation of EGP will lead to enhanced transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness in public procurement and ultimately reduce corruption. Mr. Chairman, I now come to the summary of the Ministerial Policy Statement for Vote 153, Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority for financial year 2026-2027. This highlights the half-year performance for financial year 2025-2026, planned outputs for financial year 26-27, and the budget allocation for 2026-27, cash flow projections, vote procurement plan, recruitment plan, vehicle utilization report, and the assets register. Mr. Chairman, the total MTF for PPDA for financial year 2026-27 is at 3.393 billion and is broken down as follows: wage, non-wage, and capital development, wage 16.586 billion, non-wage 15.512 billion, and capital 1.29 billion. Mr. Chair, I now wish to invite the ED to take us through the detailed presentation. Thank you. Benson.
Thank you, Honorable Thank you, Honorable Minister, Honorable Chair, and members of the committee. I have a summary presentation in this sort of document, PowerPoint. I was expecting some screen, but all the same, we have printed enough copies.
The head points.
Head point. Okay, thank you, Chair. So,
Honorable Chair, I don't have a copy.
Tim, please.
Honorable, yes, the clerk is coming to you.
So the presentation to the Committee of Finance Planning and Economic Development on the Ministerial Policy Statement. If we go to slide number 3, this Ministerial Policy Statement contains the following details: the vote half-year performance for 2025-26.
Maybe even your retooling needs to be handled because the ink is faint, but the font is small. But you can go to slide 6 and we go straight to the issues.
Okay, thank you for guidance, Honorable. Next time we'll do better. Slide 6 is alignment of NDP 4 with our strategic objectives.
You know, that's what...
Chair, we fall 8.
I think you go to 8, yeah, because...
Got the money?
Your 6 looks like 8, so I...
Okay, sorry. The financial performance for 24-25, that's the as we were guided, the communication, we had only 20.4 billion. If you go to the next slide, the performance is indicated on the next slide. The bar charts show the outcomes of our function in the procurement system per indicator, like performance contracts completed in time, performance contracts completed within cost, and the rest. If we go to the half-year performance, on page 7, Honorable Chair, we have received our budget for this current financial is 29.8 billion. This is on page 7. And so far, by December, we had received 14.6 billion, and we have spent 85% of that money received. Where we performed not up to 100% was on development, because the money that was raised was not adequate to pay the outstanding contracts. In terms of performance, the half-year performance, again, the Honorable Minister has actually gone through most of these, but in detail, we have registered the women, youth, and persons with disabilities on the special interest group database. We have currently 239 business enterprises registered by December 2025. And this is in line with what the Honorable Minister has said, support the special interest groups. Next slide, on page 8, the list of 17 standard bidding documents indicated in that slide on top. These guide government agencies in terms of bidding. They can only customize areas of evaluation, areas of the special contract conditions, and areas which need to be defined and find also instructions to bidders. So these have been revised because of the amendment of 2021. Procurement audits, we have conducted procurement audits and focusing now value for money parameters. On page 9, Honorable Chair and members, Honorable Minister has talked about the study and this on unit cost framework for roads and bridges. Consultative meetings were held among the Minister of Works and other players, including Association of Contractors and Engineers, and this will help to guide the standard unit price for roads and bridges. Our role now in this coming financial year is to disseminate this, popularize it, and also train the users, but also as PPDA, monitor compliance that this is working. We have also, in terms of study, we are also coming up with common user prices. The common used goods by government have also standard or guided price when they are, because you find someone is buying a computer at 15 million, the same computer at 10 million. We started with specifications. Now this year we are completing by end of this financial year this common user price list, which we are going to issue to all the government entities. We also done a study on procurement integrity survey. This is serialized. This is the 5th study, and we are going also to show the public the perception of the public citizens in terms of corruption in public procurement. This is also coming out by June. We have done a number of capacity building activities, and the numbers are increasing every day. In terms of sustainable public procurement, this has been incorporated. It has been incorporated in our work programs, in standard bidding documents, in our monitoring tools, and the capacity building tools. And here we are focusing environment, health, social safeguards to be incorporated as part of the procurement contracts. Honorable Minister has talked about EGP. Yes, we are part of the team that is focusing EGP, but our major role is train the users to change management, generally mindset change to those who are going to apply to use it, but also monitor compliance. Minister talked about the grain and grain products. Yeah, we are focused on that, and we are promised money actually to again to disseminate this coming financial year, so that our children, especially who are in schools, and those prisoners and the army and the police must consume maize flour, for example, and beans from certified suppliers, certified providers by UNBS. We worked with Grain Council, Minister of Trade, Uganda Warehousing Receipt Authority, and Minister of Finance, general as our parent ministry, to ensure that this condition is put as part of the procurement requirements, and then our role is to monitor that it is complied with, so that we fight aflatoxins and also promote trade, cross-border trade of our maize and maize products. The few challenges is that the rules of capital development has not been consistent. As you are aware, Honorable Chairman, usually first quarter there is no rules. They gave us some little money in the second quarter. Third quarter there was no rules. So even the commitments, the capital commitments that we had couldn't be completed. And we are anticipating maybe we'll get some money during the last quarter. Inadequate staffing, the approved structure is at 171 staff. No, at 286 staff, but currently we are filled up to 171. So we are missing 115 staff, and this is if we are to really monitor contracts, then we need to have adequate staff. We are planning to expand to different regions. Currently we're in 4 regions, but the board approved expanding to 8 regions. We can only afford it to open 1 office in Hoima next financial year. That goes again with fleet. The vehicles we have, some of them as old as 2001. Vote provision, Honorable Chair and members, on page 10 has increased slightly from this current financial year, from 29.8 to 33.3, and we appreciate Minister of Finance for that. Overview of this provision, that slide on page 11 on top is specifically breaking it in terms of wage, non-wage, and capital development. Capital development has not changed, but we'll manage within it, especially in terms of IT tools and some few vehicles that we are going to buy. Chair, those are priority areas on page 12 as broken down in terms of governance and security. Here we are going to focus performance monitoring. In terms of private sector development, the focus is on local content. In terms of development plan implementation, the focus is on, again, on high value performance monitoring and training on complex procurements and contract management by entities. Honorable Chair, I take it back to my Honorable Minister to finalize our submission.
Thank you very much, AD, for the detailed summary. Mr. Chair, at this point, I would like to conclude as follows. 1, to appreciate you and the committee for the support you have given to PPDA over the years. And number 2, to request you to approve the budget for PPDA as has been of 33.393 billion as has been presented, and also to ask you to take note of the challenges PPDA as a vote continues to experience. And lastly, I wish to formally hand over lay to the committee the Ministerial Policy Statement for vote 153, Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority for financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, and your team led by the ED from PPDA. I'd like to appreciate your clear and concise presentation. Of course, I know there are issues. This time I want to start with myself. Bwana ED, I can see you are touching areas that are very critical to the masses, and even us as the representatives of the people. When you talk about giving a guideline of the prices in road maintenance and these ones particularly in our areas, in the districts, in our rural areas. These ones are long overdue. Would like you to come out clearly on the timelines when we can have this, because it will go a long way to help us. And secondly, you talk about the grain and standards. I was wondering, do you relate in your work in this area? Do you relate closely with UNBS? I would like to hear that detail, because our farmers, our producers have failed to export, and yet Uganda is a food basket because of the aflatoxins that you're talking about, because of lack of standards and certification. So we think this is an area you're going to help us handle effectively. You talk about the EGP, and you said, and indeed I want to agree, my deputy is so passionate about it, like I am. The electronic government procurement. The other time, the Honorable Minister, we talked, you assured us, you confirmed to us that 36 entities so far are the ones which are onboarded with EGP. And it is in your ministry. And it has been over time. When you use the word rollout, I get a metaphor of rolling out a carpet. What is difficult with rolling out this for all this time? And yet we know the importance or the bearing it has on effectiveness in terms of time we take in procurement, in terms of reduced intervention that creates corruption and all that. I'm opening up, colleagues. Yes, I start from this side. Yeah. Honorable Call.
Honorable Chair, I would want some clarification, especially on page 4. The report says the physical performance 2024-2025. And I'm wondering whether that is the period that they're looking at in this report or it's an oversight. But also on that same table, I am concerned. I have been in this committee for a long time, since 2016. I'm wondering how all the budget is released. Most of the time when we are talking to entities, I mean, it is budgeted and some of the money is not released. Why is this case budgeted, release 100% all, and all money spent also, all the money released is spent? When I'm comparing with the physical performance output indicators, there are some activities which were not done. So how can all the money released be spent all when some activities are not done? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Just for alignment for the committee, our colleague, just the 2024-25 is a requirement for last year. And that's why the 100% is for the other year. Yes. And now the physical performance you're looking at is half year, which is not yet completed. I just wanted to, when we go in this campaign, sometimes we can negate some of these issues. So I would like to reiterate, colleagues, that we are having constraint in time, so we'd like to go straight to the issues. Honorable Choma.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to thank the Minister and PPDA team for the presentation, and actually to thank them for the work they are doing. Just in the interest of time, page 18, no, page 9, slide 18, about the support rollout of EGP. Yes, I thank you because you are recognizing some gaps, but some of these gaps seem to be glaring. I see it on Park Central. And what we have been capturing from the users of the system, the MDAs and the auditors, is that actually the interface with this, with the whole system, the oversight they also can't see what they are auditing, and it becomes somehow of a problem actually to cut it short. Some accounting officers were proposing that they should do away with the system. Yet some of us believe that actually the system promotes transparency. So we are lucky that you are here. How are you prepared to go about this? Then they roll out to 100 entities in July 2026. Honourable Minister, with these gaps notwithstanding, when are we rolling over to all the entities? Otherwise, I thank you. But lastly, this is to the ED and the team. You had started a very good real system. Was it called Baraza or whatever, where you would move regionally and interact with the citizens, and it was very really very good program. You would get callers who would not understand PPDA, but they would understand PPDA. Where did it? Is it here? If it is not here, Chair, I would even support that we add money for that program, because it was really good all over the country, whether north, east, where, and people had started feeling what PPDA is. I thank you, Chair.
Of course, Honorable Choma, we thank you for the institutional memory, you know. It comes in handy. If that was good, indeed, I also recommend. Yes, Honorable Kefa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I'll try to be brief. The key highlight, I very much thank the PPDA and very grateful for the work that you are doing. Thank you very much. But very briefly, with the work that the Minister has highlighted, or the achievements that have been highlighted in his remark, and what you have in your report, particularly on page 16 and 17, ordinarily, I see this as the work that we are expecting you to do. I don't see it as the achievement. I see you as trying to implement what you are there for, what's in your mandate, the policies, do the guidelines. What I'd expected you actually to tell us with all this work, are we seeing reduced time in the procurement cycle time, reduced time in the procurement process, which has always been our bother, and I think that was one of the areas why we had the amendment of the procurement laws. Are we seeing reduction in the cost as a result of competitive bidding? Are we seeing reduction in the corruption cases in the bidding process? And with the local content, as you know, we exercised our mind on this, I think last year or earlier this year, the year before, and the bill was not signed. But our concern was more around getting the local suppliers to get contracts in the bidding process. Local farms being developed, specifically being targeted. Are you monitoring that in your work and seeing more SMEs also being awarded contract? And then with the standard bidding documents that you've developed, are these now being used across ministries? Have you had any feedback on that? And also very exciting with the reservation schemes. Are you getting any feedback on that? How it's helping to get those targeted groups involved in the procurement processes? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Bomudimi.
Chair, also join colleagues to thank PPDA for the policy statement. The reservation scheme, we've seen a number of reports, audited accounts, this is an area where entities have poorly performed. And most of them, the reason they give that the PPDA delayed to give the guidelines for this scheme. So we want to know whether you fully given, that is as far as the audit for financial 2024-25 is concerned. Most entities failed in this area because they said they lack the guidelines. How far have you gone with the guidelines for this reservation scheme? Now, second, local content. Yes, it's a good initiative, but Mr. Chairman and Honourable Minister, you know, getting capital, cost of capital and acquiring capital for local contractors. You've talked of 45 billion shillings. But we see now under these local contents, and you promote joint ventures. Now, much as you are helping the locals, but again you bring in the other foreigners as joint ventures, and they want to provide capital. So really you may find a local company doing by with joint venture, but even the financing is done by a foreigner. Is this going to help the real issue of local content? Now the grain, I'm a farmer in the grain. I want to understand how this is going to work, because for us we sell our grain as to willing buyer, because the government has not come up with systems where farmers can collect all the grains, they look at the quality, they look at what. So I want to be educated on the issue of this grain, how is it going to, and the last one, this EGP. Most entities, the statistics which Honourable Minister said have enrolled, they have failed to walk through the process. No entity in the government has gone through from initiating procurement up the end through EGP. I've seen most of these audit reports. And the reason they are giving that, one, the system, what do we call those who gave out the system, who developed the system, the developer. And these are Ugandans, they have not given full rights to the users. That's the reason. It's in the audit reports. Now, secondly, even the users are saying that the process, there are gaps. So you start a procurement, you reach somewhere like Honorable Choma said, you fail, then they ask for a waiver, then they go the other system. Actually, even entities were recommending that they should do away with, if they want the government to maintain this EGP system, they have to get a new system. It is in the audit reports, Honourable Minister. But this one, they say totally it has failed. So what's the take? And I saw the other day I asked you a question, why government is investing money into a system which is not working. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chair. I want to join the colleagues in appreciating PPDA for the report, and also the Minister for the presentation of the Ministerial policy statement for this particular vote. But also for the work well done. We've seen the progress PPDA has made over the years, and we really appreciate. And when you look also at outcome indicators, you clearly see that we are faced in the right direction despite the challenges. But turning to the presentation, particularly picking from the Minister's brief, and this reservation scheme is a welcome development, and we really want to commend PPDA. But I think we really need to do a lot of awareness creation among the population, such that the intended objective can be realized, such that our youth, our women, and people with disability can be able to benefit as government wishes. Now, a number of members have really pointed out the issue of these grain products. When you look at the way it is presented, it's clearly a mandate of Uganda National Bureau of Standards. But from the explanation the ED gave, now you clearly see that it's procurement guidelines, guidelines to guide the procurement of grains, but not like the way it is stated in both documents. And I think that is an alignment that is needed. And given when you look at the budget, I think it is important that we commend the Ministry of Finance this time round on the governance aspects. When you look at the gross on PPDA budget, that is a bit aligned with the increase in the budget of the country, which is well in order. Because for the last 3 years, we saw it at 20-point-something billions. It grew to this financial year, 29 billions. Next financial year, 33 billions. How I wish this would be the kind of way we would be handling issues, particularly with those that are looking at following government resources. Now that a number of entities are coming on board, PDM and all these others, new local governments and other entities that are coming on board, particularly with the Office of the Auditor General, where we want to ensure that every money that is given to any entity actually gives the value to Ugandans. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Jane.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to...
Now, Honorable colleagues, as of necessity, when Jane finishes, until we conclude.
Thank you, Chair. Again, allow me to join members to commend PPDA for the good work. And when I say the good work, I want to point out to the standards that you have come up with, because this will help the entities to be more compliant than they perhaps have been before. I also want to thank you for the studies that you are doing. Like the Chair already mentioned, some of them indeed are overdue. For instance, the common user prices. Chair, this is again a big issue, because we have been, as a committee, complaining why an entity A charges a unit price for a pen different from B and C. And this is very common. One time, Office of the Prime Minister organized a baraza in my district. I was surprised. I asked them, what is the difference? Is it the soil texture or what? One sub-county, they were building a one-stance latrine at 15 million, another one was building at 38 million. So like, but we look forward to these studies coming out to support the procurement process. Now, I need clarification on page 8, accreditations granted. 4 accreditations were granted for the use of alternative procurement methods. CEO, if you could give more flesh on that. And then, Chair, members, I want to thank Honorable Kefa. He really pulled out the key things that we want to see coming out amidst all these other improvements you are trying to make in your institution. What should be the end result then? Thank you, Dr. Kefa, for that. But all these members have paid a deaf ear up to now until I come on the issues, the challenges of PPDA. And I'm wondering how they expect them to do better. Mr. Minister, if I heard well, which I hope you did here also, they are talking of their fleet as old as 2001. Even you and I, if we are to wear one pair of shoes for 20 years plus, it will wear out. Oh, which seat? This one here. Or that one is a different story for another day. Sorry, Chair. So really, I think much as you requested the committee to support PPDA, and we approved the budget of 33.393 billion. Mr. Minister, I think between now up to the time that you come with the final estimates, you can do something at least to improve on the fleet.
Thank you.
And then finally, Chair, same with staffing. I think it was said here yesterday in this very committee that 60 to about 70% of the total government budget goes into procurement. And these are people who are supposed to look at compliance, to improve the processes so that corruption is curbed. But now, if you are not empowering them with the manpower, what can they do to make things better? I really want to request the minister to make some little further allocation for especially fleet and staffing, and also to release the money for the vehicles fully.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you. Members, it is 20 minutes to midday.
Thank you, Chair. I will be quite brief, but allow me thank PPDA for the great work, especially given that I think it's PPDA and by then Uganda Road Fund that followed the guidance of government to reduce rent costs when they came together and built one structure, which I believe has saved government a lot of money in rent. But now coming to this, Honorable Chair, I am happy that PPDA is coming up with this study on the costs of roads. My only concern is whether you look at the specifics of certain regions. The region I come from is Bugisu, with the very thick volcanic soils with no rock holding underneath. And constructing a road in some of those areas takes much more. That's why at one time we were pushing that the 1 billion is smaller for Bugisu, because constructing a road in Bugisu will take more resources than constructing a road in the lowlands. So I hope that the study will look at all those different parameters to be able to give the right costs. But having said that, I am happy because the original guidelines that came from Ministry of Works were alarming. Government gave us $1 billion and it was allocated to 16 kilometers, and we said, no, this cannot be. So we had to do adjustments, but of course which are not guided by scientific guidance. The issue of considering these special interest groups, I want to thank you, Honorable Minister, and the PPDA, because these had been left out largely in the procurement processes. And this is very good for now. My only plea, my colleague suggested the barazas, but this information has to be disseminated to the lowest level possible. Finally, Honorable Minister, there is a concern with within the engineering world, and their concern is that the definition of a local company was amended and includes even companies owned by foreigners but registered here for a very short period of time. And that, in a way, is disadvantaging the local companies. So when we talk of local content, they are losing out to those with bigger muscles and who have registered here, but largely owned by foreign entities. So it's an issue that requires a policy review, and that's why I had to highlight it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Patrick.
Thank you, Chair. I want to appreciate PPDA and the Minister for a very good submission. And secondly, I appreciate the ED for the many innovations within the authority. One such key innovation in the last 6 years has been the development and the expeditious implementation of the e-procurement. This, I think, the Honorable Minister knows very well where the idea started from, where it was powered from, the e-procurement. And aware that there is a planned rollout of the same, I want to know from the ED the extent of implementation so far across all government entities, including the private sector. At what percentage are we? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Honorable Minister, in the interest of time, I would like you to respond. I would like you to respond to the critical issues, especially colleagues have put forward. Just a minute. I thought he had given up on the EGP thing, but I think he's back.
You can make an appointment and discuss EGP. Okay, just a very quick one. I will leave everything else out. Actually, it's on EGP. Sometime back in 2021, on the 1st July 2021, that's when you launched this EGP. And that time, there were, I think, 12 or 16 MDAs that were piloted with. And quickly, it turned out to 36. 5 years down the road, there are still 36. The other day, when you were making a presentation here, you gave a reason. That is because the system that was developed had glitches. And I believe the glitches must have been maybe 1 year after 2021, maybe 2022. Why has it taken 4 years for these glitches to be corrected? And the money, and you know why World Bank supported this is because they carried out a study which it released in 2005, saying that it is estimated $300 million was lost every year. And in the next 10 years, this figure was supposed to increase. That is from around 2015. And in 2014, you launched e-procurement strategic plan, 2014 to 2019. And that in that plan, you expected to achieve 100% rollout. I know, I just want to tell you that so that you don't use COVID. COVID came in 2020. This plan was supposed to end in 2019. And by that time, you had expected that if this thing is rolled out, to do that. But this was a project of $8.5 million US. And I believe this was money which was borrowed by the government of Uganda. Should we say all this money has gone to the drain? During the presentation, PPDA said that they are carrying out monitoring of regulation monitoring, strictly. Regulation monitoring, and the other one is change management. You can see how peripheral the role of the regulator is. Really, how do you monitor a system that you have not participated effectively in developing? How do you monitor? It's like calling me to come and monitor FMS if I'm so green about it. How will I be able to know that it's doing that? So that leaves so many unanswered questions. But what I also wanted to ask PPDA, I didn't see in your presentation anything to do with the unfunded priorities, if there were any. But it seems in your the other bigger document, they were there. What was your motivation of skipping them? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. I think, Honorable Minister, the reason why these issues are reiterated and said over and over again is because of the interest we have to make sure we see PPDA enhanced and increase its intervention in the procurement process, and therefore being able to save a lot of the resources and time that we lose along the way. So over to you, Honorable Minister. And I would like to guide that in the interest of time, you respond to the critical issues, and then we expect the ED to reply all those questions. And I saw him writing passionately, to respond in writing and to details.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to begin with the last one from the Honorable Vice. Why is he not seeing the unfunded priorities in the presentation? Mr. Chairman, the new guidance from His Excellency the President is that the Minister should not go to Parliament to ask for more money. The Minister should come to Parliament to ask Parliament to approve and appropriate what the Executive has proposed. And this is the reason why you are not seeing me here presenting the list of unfunded priorities.
Information, Chair.
Yes, information.
The other MDAs you have been bringing here have been giving us the unfunded priorities. This is just to bring to know the status.
Mr. Chairman, I have been here for the last 3 days. I have not presented unfunded priorities. I have been consistent.
Maybe the point you would have insisted on is that the soft copies we received, those were there. So you reviewed and amended and removed them, as simple as that.
As simple as
yes,
that. So that means I have not presented.
So let's proceed.
So my focus is on
what you
on asking Parliament to approve what Executive has recommended. Mr. Chair, in summary, what is the role of PPDA? PPDA is supposed to ensure that there is value for money in procurement. We achieve value for money by ensuring that the process does not take a lot of time. Efficiency. We achieve value for money by ensuring that public works are undertaken at the cheapest cost possible. Mr. Chair, what have we done? In my presentation, I said the PPDA has made registered significant progress in a number of areas, ensuring that procurement is inclusive by bringing in the young people, by bringing in the women, and by bringing in the people with disabilities, especially on small contracts in the districts. What we want to do going forward is to ensure that there is awareness creation. These things are there, but very few of our people know that they exist. They don't know that these opportunities are there. So we want to ask PPDA to strengthen sensitization so that these opportunities are well understood. Mr. Chair, when we come here and tell you that...
But Honorable Chair, actually that was exactly my question. Have you got an indication that you are achieving that? We know that's what you are trying to do, that's what you are aiming at achieving, but are you achieving it? That was my question.
I think, Mr. Chair, yes, we are achieving. If we give you our detailed, I think, Mr. Chair, we always get audiences where we have time, enough time, where we can even tell you that in Chivoga, the following company belongs to some woman who has got grow funds and is also benefiting from districts of contracts like this.
Honorable Chair, why is it then that you've not included anything about it in your presentation?
Mr. Chair, I wanted to be as brief as possible. Taking into account that Parliament doesn't have a lot, we are working in a strict timeline.
Now, the honourable member and, of course, colleagues will require those details so that we're able to see that milestone achieved that you're talking about.
All right. Much obliged, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, another point.
Chair, I just want to inform the Honourable Minister, what you're talking about, these things of youth, promotion of local content, these are supposed to be inputs into a system. We're asking you about a system. These narratives here, this is how you contextualize something that can be put in a system. This system is supposed to reduce the timelines. And if you're delaying it, these timelines will not be reduced. So what you're telling us is what can make us develop models that we can put into the system. So don't tell us that these things are actually.
That's why I say the Honourable Minister.
So it is good to give you that information so that you give us that. No, we are developing these things. We are still, it is just work in progress, and maybe we shall reach there. What Honourable Kefa is saying is, what have you achieved over this? You just tell us, actually, we have launched some of these reservation schemes, but we are about to roll them out by sensitization. But don't tell us as if this is the tail end.
So I tell you what you want to hear.
No. You're supposed to tell people the right thing. Okay. You know, Honourable Minister.
It's okay, Honourable.
When you're here, you're supposed to give a very...
Much obliged, the Honourable Vice. However, I want to tell you that these timelines are not defined in the system. They are defined in the law. Why we amended the law of 2003 in 2021 was to achieve efficiency through cutting the time, reducing the time required. For instance, Benson, how many days did we give the process of when there is a complaint? We gave how many days?
Honourable Minister, 10 at accounting officer.
Yes.
10, 15 at the tribunal if there is an appeal. And there were 3 tiers before, now they are
now
2
they are
tiers.
2. Are they in the system or in the law? Mr. Chair, the next... Honourable Chairperson,
Honourable Minister.
You know the advantage of being here for so long. You have institutional memory on a number of aspects.
That's why I requested.
We have grown with this process.
In order to share that institutional memory and the details, we need them written so that you communicate.
Mr. Chair, maybe what I can, but I wanted to emphasize 2 areas. On local content, the capacity of our local contractors still needs to be strengthened. One of our colleagues said they have a challenge of financing, they have a challenge of joint venturing. I've also heard that from here that some companies who are foreign register here for a short time, and they want to fit within the definition of local companies. And also, I met one of them, one of our local contractors. He was telling me that even supply stand on the road, like a road like this road of Chisubi Nakauka Piji, a contract of sand alone requires close to over 10 billion. How many of our local contractors can afford this? So these are some of the challenges which we need to address. They cannot be addressed like now here, but we need to progressively address them. Another key point, Mr. Chairman, having standard unit costs, especially for the road works and bridges, is a very good idea, which should be supported. We've been grappling in the, I don't know whether some of you, I think some of you are members of the National Economy Committee. Whenever we go there to ask for approval of loans, we are always asked, what is the basis? You are doing a road in let's say, like this bridge of Katonga, and you have another bridge of Sezibwa, you are bringing them, you are doing them at different unit costs. Yet they are bridges passing, there is a river crossing, there is a swamp. So the terrain is more or less the same, but it is bringing different unit cost. You are doing a lot in Rakai, Masaka, Mutukura. You are doing another road, Sembabule, somewhere. The costs are what? Are different. Why? We've been basing on historical costs. For instance, if you say a road in Iteso which was done 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and you want to do another road now, you base on the costs which you used then, without asking what is the reference. So these are some of the things these we need to address. And PPDA is making an effort. It's not doing it alone. We are there with Ministry of Works. We are there with the contractors. It's a holistic approach. And this, when it comes out, I want to ask for your support that we sustain it.
Honorable Minister,
the oversight support.
Can you please conclude with EGP?
Mr. Chairman,
I want assurance from you about
EGP. You are asking Benson too much. Benson is supposed to ensure that EGP is working. Compliance is supposed to check whether the contractors are using what? EGP. And in his promotion of effective procurement, he's supposed to also move ahead of us. Change management, which he was talking about, sensitization, or making people know how EGP is supposed to be used. But to ensure that the system is in place and effectively working, that is the role of the Ministry of Finance, Planning, and Economic Development. And yes, the other day when we were here, we told you the practical steps we are taking to ensure that EGP is in place. Yes, we have had challenges which the technical teams I came with presented to you, but we are improving on them. And we're optimistic that in the near future, we shall have all our votes. Actually, the plan is not 100, as one member mentioned. The plan is to have more than 300. From 36, we want to go to 300.
In what time?
It is just one action. What we are doing will result into over 300 entities enrolled on EGP. Mr. Chair, maybe, hopefully, if things remain the way they are, when I come back next time to present before this committee, maybe I will have assuming other factors constant.
Thank you.
When I come, I will have achieved the target I am looking at. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I now, Benson, do you have key highlights?
I want to ask Benson to write to us so that by closure of business tomorrow, we have this information with our clerk, answering in detail the questions of the colleagues that have been put before you. Having said that, one burning one, it's okay.
One word.
I want to appreciate the honorable members of the committee for appreciating our work and for the support that you are giving PPDA. You know, the amendment with this committee, 2021, and some of the questions that were being asked in terms of delays in implementation of some of the actions like guidelines. 2023, we came up with regulations. 2024, we came up with the guidelines, and now we are in implementation. Yes. So we have not delayed generally. But also one other point on grain. It is true we are working with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Okay. We launched together, and they are also quickening the process of certifying these small factories like upcountry and whatever. The requirements have been worked on. But what maybe I call upon this honorable house is support the Uganda Warehouse Receipt Authority, because that authority was merged, the system, or Uganda Warehouse Receipt System, because that's where the farmers can put. They were building warehouses all over the country, but when they merged, those projects in our monitoring, we have discovered they have a bit stalled.
I think they were put in Ministry of Trade.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, ED and the PPDA team. Certainly, as agreed, we'll have those details. They'll help us to go through, and to assure you we'll continue to support you. Having said that, Honorable Minister, please allow your ED and team, PPDA, to... You can leave. So now we invite the guys who rub shoulders with the gamblers and the gamers and gamblers. They are gamers. So it was amended.
Stay for all the entities.
I don't collapse. Yes, thank you. I'm fine.
I need that chair.
Which chair? Hello? Yes.
Honorable colleagues, it is exactly 5 minutes past midday, and I want to appreciate that this is our second last entity we are interfacing with, and therefore, like the Minister, these members have been introducing themselves, and the team was already in the room. So we ask the Minister to... the Commissioner.
I'm Solomon Silwanyi, Member of Parliament, Bukoli Central in Wajiri District.
Who is also our Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is Rotaries and Gaming Board. We are here to present the Ministerial Policy Statement for the National Rotaries and Gaming Regulatory Board for financial year 2020. The Rotaries and Gaming Board budget for financial year 2026-2027 is aligned to the National Budget Strategy, the 10-fold Growth Strategy, and the NRM Manifesto. And it is anchored on the following priorities. 1, improving compliance with gaming laws and intensifying enforcement on illegal activities. 2, reducing gaming-related harm, especially among the young people. 3, strengthening regulatory efficiency through technology-driven solutions. 4, enhancing tax and non-tax revenue mobilization. 5, player protection. These priorities are consistent with the medium-term goals of National Rotaries Gaming Board, which is a technologically driven and revenue-generating gaming sector free from adverse effects. Mr. Chairman, the key performance highlights for the period 2024-2025 and the first half of financial year 2025-6 is as follows. Under the National Central Electronic Monitoring System. Mr. Chairman, the National Central Electronic Monitoring System is now in place and it has helped us achieve the following. One is, as a bit of background, government allocated 8.4 billion in financial year 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 to implement the National Central Electronic Monitoring System. The system development commenced in financial year 22-23 and operator integration started in 23-24. Currently, 46 out of the 54 licensed operators have been integrated. The remaining 8 are newly licensed operators which are undergoing onboarding. The system provides visibility of key gaming metrics including the turnover, all stakes, expected tax, anti-money laundering, i.e. suspicious transactions, excessive play, fraud detection, and self-exclusion. As a result of the increased visibility, declaration of turnover and the related tax by the operators has increased significantly. In the financial year 2022-23, before implementing the system, operators were declaring total stakes of Uganda shillings 2.4 trillion. In financial year 23-24, after implementation of the first phase, that is online betting and online casino, the declared stakes increased to 4.3 trillion. In other words, increased by 228%. In financial year 24-25, after implementing the second phase, that is land-based gaming and electronic gaming machines, the stakes further increased to 8.3 trillion, an increase of 209%. And the stakes turnover in first half of 25-26 were 6.2 trillion. In terms of revenue growth, the revenue from gaming increased from Uganda shillings 151.9 billion in financial year 2022-23. This is before the system was installed, to Uganda shillings 323, which is 113% increase in financial year 2024-2025. Uganda shillings 176 billion was collected in the first half of financial year 2025-2026, representing 45.2% of the annual target. And the non-tax revenue grew from 3.949 billion in financial year 2023-2024 to Uganda shillings 8.79 billion in financial year 24-25. The first half of 25-26 registered 8.04 billion. Mr. Chair, the Lotteries and gaming has two objectives. Allow gaming but get revenue, because the gamblers are rich. There are people who are, but also because the activity has side effects. We don't want our young people, even ourselves, we don't want addiction, mainly by the young people, but also even some old people, when they go there, they get addicted. So we try to regulate the activity. So those are the two objectives. So when I say revenue growth, yes, good news. But also I should be able to report to you that the number of illegal machines have gone down, and also addictive gaming in Uganda is not as much as we see elsewhere. Those are our main goals in this business. Mr. Chair, I now go to the third achievement. In line with Section 1 of the Lotteries and Gaming Act, government set up a national Rotary to raise funds for development of sports infrastructure. An agreement to run the Rotary was signed with Ituba Uganda Limited, which commenced operations in June 2024. The progress includes the following: startup activities, including setup of data centers, offices, IT, and POS terminals, is completed. 2. Marketing of the Rotary and player education is ongoing. 3. Total ticket sales in financial year 24-25 were Uganda shillings 3.2 billion. 4. Total prizes paid out was Uganda shillings 4.5 billion. Total revenue to government was 806 million. The projected sales for financial year 25-26 are Uganda shillings 27 billion, with a contribution to government of 6.7 billion. Mr. Chairman, I now come to the resource envelope and major planned activities. The total budget under Vote 123 National Gaming and Rotary Board has increased from 17.390 billion in financial year 2025-6 to Uganda shillings 26.990 billion in financial year 2026-2027. Mr. Chair, you may ask why has there been this increase when most of other entities have remained where they are, or why we have cut in some areas. This is a revenue generating entity. So if you are raising revenue for government, we have a deliberate policy to support you raise more revenue. So you can see this improvement in the budget. We expect them to raise more revenue. On top of what they are raising, we have said, let's solve your problems and you give us more money to run government activities. So you will see you realize that most of the revenue generating entities have received an additional support in their budget. Mr. Chairman, the following significant investment in systems and automation in the past years: priority in 26/7 shifts towards operational enforcement, including 1. Fully staffing the regional offices, 2. Provision of essential work tools and vehicles for enforcement of compliance, etc., etc. And the strategic priorities are the following. The board has set out 4 key objectives to justify the increase in budget request. 1, to optimize revenue collection to 450 billion. This one I talked about it. 2, digital enablement to utilize advanced data analytics to identify leakages and enhance regulatory intelligence. 3, promote responsible gaming. This one I also talked about it. 4, player protection through testing of gaming machines, dispute resolution, and call center support. 5, effective regulation. Recruit additional staff for regional offices and procure vehicles for enforcement of compliance. 6, Mr. Chairman, we want to amend the Lotteries and Gaming Act to provide deterrent sanctions against illegal operators. This will help us achieve the responsible gaming which I talked about. What are the key challenges for the entity, Mr. Chairman? 1 is the weak sanctions in the current legal regime, which are not deterrent enough for illegal operations. The solution here is that when we amend, we shall try to be more stringent. 2, revenue leakages arising from inconsistencies between the Lotteries and Gaming Act and the Income Tax Act. And 3, inadequate staffing in the regional offices. Currently, we have 2 staff instead of the requirement of 7. Mr. Chair, with this, I now want to invite the acting ED to take us through the numbers. In the interest of time, you go to the numbers only.
The
before you come in, I want to make sure the colleagues have that kind of book. Colleagues, this is the book we are referring to. Yes. Yes. I think those members that might not have them, make sure they have them. And I would like to ask the acting ED to focus on the half-year performance and the projections only. You know, half-year performance and the projections, because the minister has been so detailed, and like he said, he has presented literally. I don't know why you're even asking him to come.
Just to give him a chance.
Give him a chance. And honorable colleagues, we indeed, like the minister said, we realize that this is an entity that generates revenue, but our concerns, the minister has brought them out, is protect I said gamblers, I want to withdraw the word, the gamers. I am told the gamers. So the enabling environment and the recruitment are things we understand. So just flash the performance and especially speak to the challenges that the minister has brought up, and then you conclude.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable Minister. I'll go straight to page 17, since the Honorable Minister has hinted on most of the issues, which is the half-year financial performance for the board. I'll start with the financial performance. In terms of wage, we had absorbed 91% of what were allocated. In terms of non-wage, we had absorbed only about 47.8% because of the ongoing procurement. And then under development, we had not yet absorbed anything because of we had not yet received all the money that is required for the development procurement. In terms of physical performance, revenue mobilization, that is on page 20. As the minister has explained in his statement, at half year we had collected 176 billion, which is about 45.2% of our annual target of 391 billion. Someone may ask why 45.2% are not above 50. So gaming is seasonal. Most of the gaming happens in the second half of the financial year, where we are now, because the excitement is more. The leagues are coming to an end, so the excitement is more. There are more, yes. At the beginning of the financial year, the excitement is less. The leagues are just starting.
So like when Arsenal lost,
so
money was made.
So the excitement is building up now. Under licensing, we approved 83 principal licenses. Under enforcement, we have confiscated so far this half of the year 1,459 illegal gaming machines and devices. So we have a challenge of these small illegal machines, which are in, now the operators have shifted to the rural areas. Since we have been focused here in the center, the illegal operators have now shifted in the remote areas. And this is why we have established regional offices for quick response. Because the other time you'd receive a call from Kanungu, you're in Kampala, by the time you go. So
the Kanungu is represented.
So we have established regional offices. We want to, yes. So we want to retool these regional offices. We give them vehicles and adequate staff so that they can be able to confiscate these machines. They are, first of all, unregistered. They are not registered with us, and they don't pay any license, but also they cheat the public because they are not standard. We have in our standards what we call a return to player ratio, which is supposed to be above 85%. So for the transactions that go through that gaming machine, 85% is supposed to go back to the players. But these small machines are tweaked to make it the other way around. Maybe 10% goes to the players. So they're dangerous. They keep collecting money, and as the minister explained, the punishments are not deterrent enough. You get one person, the maximum fine they give him is 48 currency points. That's about 960,000.
Yeah, you go to the next sentence so that we move faster.
Then gaming dispute resolution.
For us.
We've resolved. This half year we resolved 53 out of the 68 complaints that we received, which is 77.9% performance. Most of these are for non-payment of winnings. The players come complaining that we won and they were not paid. On page 22, there are other responsible gaming measures that we've undertaken: awareness and sensitization, strengthened regulatory requirements, including age verification, self-exclusion. We have engaged with mental health providers and tertiary institutions. We established a fully functional call center where we get calls from people saying, or their families saying, we have a problem with a family member who has a problem of addiction. Then we can see how we help them.
Can we go to 2026, 27? What you plan for this year?
Okay. We could
just open. You'll see the heading. You okay. Just go to. You can use this other one to go to the strategic. Use this document.
Chair.
Strategic activities for 2026, 27. Go to page 4.
Chair, proposed allocations on page 31 of that document. Under wage, our allocation has increased from 5.1 billion to 8.8 billion because we intend to recruit more staff for these regional offices, as I had hinted. Under non-wage, our allocation has increased from 11.2 billion to 15.4 billion to enable quick response and execution of the regulatory mandate. And then under Government of Uganda Development, our allocation has increased from 1 billion to 2.6 billion. We intend to procure some vehicles, including a truck to collect
the machines,
those small illegal machines.
They are beginning with a truck.
We are beginning with one, and then some pickups. Honorable Chair, that is, in brief, that is all for 26-27.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I wish to conclude by formally presenting the Ministerial Policy Statement for Vote 123, Uganda National Gaming Regulatory Board for financial year 2026-2027. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Now I would like maybe about 3 members to say: Honorable Peya, Honorable Mudimi, and Honorable Kugonza.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, the Honorable Minister, for the job well done. I see that this gaming and lottery thing seems to be our cash cow. However, I'm a bit concerned and wanted to hear from you on page 28 of this presentation. I'm looking at the revenue, and I'm wondering what are the drivers of this very big jump on our revenue mobilization. Yes, I know about the system and all that, but I'm not hearing so much about I think somebody, in the presentation, the minister talked about some policies or laws that you want to do to protect these gamers. I'm personally not so much a fan of this because I've seen how detrimental they can be, particularly to the young people. So what are the factors where do you think these monies are? Is it for the rich, as somebody said? Is it the rich who are playing, or it is the poor who are actually losing all their money into this gaming thing? And what is the board really going to do about it, besides just the protection of players and all that? What are those specific things that we can really be comfortable with, that much as we are promoting you to get for us more money as government, we are also cognizant that they are very, very detrimental to our young people or the players?
Honorable Mudimi.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on licensing and enforcement. You know, when the law was passed, it gave areas where activities of gaming should take place, big centers. But when you go deep in, I come from Bulamburi, deep in the mountains there, that's where the activities are taking place. Deep, deep. And Mr. Chairman and the members, to be specific, on 8th December last year, I was in a rally up there, and some boys had moved with, they had gone also, they found in a center where there was gambling. They went into it. When they lost money, they started beating the operator. The guy nearly died. What saved him, we came and they just fell into my legs. That's how we survived.
So, Chairman,
and to get a person...
Honorable Mudimi should also tell us that because of these reasons he is advancing, he was opposed to this law being in place.
No, I do not oppose, but whatever little we've given you, you've failed to manage. And I saved that young man, and the guy was from Kabar, and could be your relative. From Kabar, deep, deep in the mountains. I also got scared. The boy was beaten badly because those boys had lost their money. So we want to see licensing and enforcement. Why? Actually, we need those regional offices. Like, if you put a regional office in Mbara, I've seen you say you need like 7 people.
Staff. 7
staff. And you see, Mbare, that area is mountainous. Now, if they call,
they should put it in Bulamburi.
If they call, and you see in Bulamburi, because there are many activities, there's a bit of coffee,
and then the border
farming. Some people from your place also come. They normally, Israelites also normally lose money in my place. They come from the Kapiripiri to do gambling in Bulamburi.
You end up.
So we need that enforcement as much as it is a cash cow. Otherwise, even a generation really. Some parents are crying that they are losing school fees. Once they give you want to go and pay, they go into gambling.
Advise them to use school pay direct instead of giving to their children.
Really, we need this enforcement and the licensing.
Yes, Honorable Kugonza, let's be a bit faster.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair.
Commissioner.
I want to join my colleagues in thanking the Minister and his team, the National Lotteries and the Gaming Regulatory Board, for a comprehensive presentation, but also for a job well done as per the mandate given to them by Parliament. Because this authority was, even when we talk about whatever it is a government policy, we adapted it. Of course, the people talking about it cautiously, I want to join them. Now, the issue of addiction should not actually be taken lightly. And yes, we are a poor country, a developing country, and we need the money, but we seem to be between a hard place and a rock. And that's why we need to invest so much in awareness, because we need to continue sensitizing the public about the dangers. But when you look at the report of the board, for example, like your outreach to secondary schools, you only in a year, you actually reached out to 26 secondary schools with a huge population of secondary schools in the country. How I wish you can be able to do more from the preventive side, so that people at an early age can understand the dangers of gaming. For those people that, for some of you and some of us who might be following the global developments, yesterday there was a landmark case in Los Angeles, and where Meta and actually Google lost a case of social media addiction, and it's changing issues. And at some point, we might actually be taken to court as a government by parents that are concerned if we don't regulate stringently the sector. So much as we are making positive development in terms of revenue generation, but we need to be concerned about the social aspects that really underpin all this, that particularly from the negative side, that we need to address. I thank you, Chair.
Okay, thanks. Honorable Silwanyi.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the Minister for the presentation on the gaming board. I have an issue. I have a matter to raise on page, when you look at page 21 of the presentation by the acting director. The purchase of the gaming machines. I come from a village called Makoma in Bujiri district. But we find most of these people, young people in the rural areas, they come to Kampala and buy these machines. Then they take them to the villages for gambling. I want to know, why do they first of all buy them? How do they access them? Because this is government. You must control the sector even at a level of purchasing the machines. Because you are now having confiscated 1,459 illegal machines. Why wait for these people to go and buy the machines, take them illegally, start using them in the villages, then you go and confiscate? Why don't you arrest the situation? Because URA is there. The good thing, the Minister of Finance is here. These people pay taxes. The ones who sell these machines, they bring them to the country, they pay taxes. Why do you allow the machines that you are very much aware that they cannot do the right work and they have errors? Why do you allow the machines to enter the country? And then later you run and you want the committee to support you to ensure enforcement. And that means more money. I'm seeing you talking about pickups, you're talking about enforcement. Why don't you prevent? Because it would be far much cheaper to prevent than for you to go and start capturing machines, following up on individuals. I think I want an answer in that area. Yes. Otherwise, you have performed tremendously well. I remember the minister was the chair of Finance Committee, and he was really one of the people who was pushing for this law to come to effect. And I think I thank you for doing that. That time,
thank you.
Though now you have changed.
Thank you, Commissioner.
But I thank you that time.
You, Commissioner. Honorable Bumale, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I also want to join colleagues to thank the Minister and this entity. Actually, I'm surprised to see that it raises this huge amount of money in the government. But I have two issues that I want to emphasize. One is about the staffing. I am seeing you are appealing for recruitment of 7 people at regional level. I'm wondering whether 7 can handle the region. But also, I want to emphasize on the issue of sensitization about the dangers, so that our people get to know. Whoever decides to go for gaming knows the repercussions. But lastly, Mr. Chairman, I want clarity from the ED on page 9, where he was talking about the development budget, which was not absorbed because they received the little money, and they choose not to spend that money because they were waiting for other monies to come. Didn't they have anything that they should use this money on in that line of development? Is it a must that they needed to first wait for all the money to come so that they spend?
Yeah, I think because of time, I'd request that most of these issues that have been raised, you go and make a write-up. And actually, would implore you to have an interaction with the committee as soon as possible, so that they get a clear understanding of this institution. Maybe, Honorable Minister, if you want to make any quick one. So, with that, I would definitely request that the team from National Gaming and Lotteries Board can take leave from this meeting, and we invite the next institution. Thank you. I've requested you to take leave. We have another institution coming. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Chair. Chair. Honorable Ochoa. Are we part of you, or? Honorable Ochoa, I can hear you, but I also want to tell you that we had agreed that we must end this meeting by 1 because we have to go and participate in it. I know you came very late.
No, I came late because of there is an issue I wanted to raise to the minister. I go to his office. He was a chair when we formulated this law, and there is something pertinent I wanted to raise, but it's well. Now that the minister...
We are waiting for Uganda Investment Authority. To you.
Dear UBC TV viewer, UPDF Legacy, a popular program previously airing on Sundays at 9 p.m. will now air every Thursday at 11 p.m. on UBC TV. The program delves into UPDF's transformation efforts, protection and service to the nation by showcasing the Army's contribution to national development and regional stability. Join us as we continue to explore the Uganda People's Defence Forces mandate of preserving and defending national sovereignty and territorial integrity over our motherland, Uganda. Stay tuned for more informative programs, stories, interviews and updates about the works of the UPDF. We look forward to sharing UPDF's legacy with you. This is just an adjustment in time, but the same great content.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role.
Engineer Felix Binamagyo, Project Engineer, Kampala Industrial Business Park, Namanze.
Bwambale John, Head of Audit. Honorable Chair, my name is Richard Nwenyesiga. I'm the Director for Domestic Investment.
Good afternoon, Chair and Honorable Members. I'm Patience Kaviji. I'm the Corporation Secretary.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Robin Anawire, Director of Finance and Administration.
Good afternoon, Chair and Honorable Members of Parliament. My name is Nagasha Christine. I'm the Director for Industrial Parks Development.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Fred Kakoza, Deputy Director, One Stop Center.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. My name is Rita Mugula, Deputy Director, Investment Promotion.
Mr. Chair, can I invite the ED to make a summary presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Minister, Members of Parliament. You guided that I got half-year performance and the plans for next year.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
then
Chair.
go to the...
Before you, we have our presentation. So with your guidance, I'll go straight to page 5, talking about our performance as of June 2025. As you see, Mr. Chairman, honorable members of Parliament, of the releases from government, we spent 95% of that. And for the infrastructure, that's on page number 6, under the performance of the infrastructure projects under Uganda Investment Authority, as per June 2025, the number of infrastructure project was at 61.2%. Kapeka, given the releases from government, we are only at 4.8%. And for Mbale Industrial Park, it's also Government of Uganda funding. On the roads component, we're at 47%, and the water and drainage at 7%. Of the releases, that's page 7, that we got, we spent 95%. The balance unspent was mainly because our structure is not fully complete. It accounts for wage and gratuity. In terms of fiscal performance, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Minister, and Members of Parliament, under Objective 1, to sustainably lower the cost of doing business under the One-Stop Center, Mr. Chairman, our investment licenses are processed within 24 hours. Under the One-Stop Center, we have the company registration in 4 hours. The TIN is instant. Work permits have reduced from 2 weeks to 4 days. The same applies, Mr. Chairman and board members, for the URSB registration, instant TIN, the coin application, and visa validation at the One-Stop Center. Mr. Chairman, on page 10, that is strengthen the organizational and institutional capacity of the private sector. Mr. Chairman, we supported and facilitated the 4.5 billion oil refinery investment in Uganda. FDI flows, honorable members, have risen from 2.9 billion to 3.5 billion. We developed our strategic plan, and 4 domestic investors were facilitated to secure 2.09 billion from UDB. Mr. Chairman, we also facilitated 10 women-led enterprises to access $200,000 via NSSF and MasterCard Foundation. On page 11, under Objective 2, to strengthen the organizational and institutional capacity of the private sector, we had a total of 118 companies that were monitored, representing USD 905.4 million in actual investments and 55,000 jobs approximately created. We piloted the Trader to Manufacture initiative in Chikubo, supporting 33 traders. This led to licensing of 11 projects with projected investments of 8.6 million and 2,022 jobs, of which 2 projects have been actualized, valued at $251,000, creating 18 jobs. We provide around 317 SMEs in our SME portal, enhancing traceability, access to business development services such as financing and markets. So, Chairman, honorable members, again on page 12, strengthen the role of government. So, in the role of government in unlocking investment in strategic sectors, Mr. Chairman, we developed a compendium of 22 bankable projects worth $845 million, which are aligned to our ATMs. We produced an investor guide, East Africa investor guide, and sector profiles for Uganda tourism and agricultural sectors. Mr. Chairman, we received the second best investment promotion agency in Africa at the Annual Investment Awards and the Worldwide Investment Promotion Excellence Award under the World Investment Promotion Agencies Award. So, Chairman, on page 13, so to develop the requisite infrastructure to support secondary and tertiary manufacturing, we supported 10 industrial parks by unlocking investments through facilitation of mortgages to improve access to finance, supporting the ESIA's approvals, resolving land issues. Of that, a total of 647 companies were allocated land, 54% are operational, 26% are under construction, and the rest are at the planning stage, that is getting the clearances from the ESIAs, for example, building plans being approved. And this we will generate 163,183 jobs and 5.43 billion in capital investment. As I said earlier, the overall progress of the project stood at 61.2% as June last year, and we expect the project to be completed in September 2026. Kapeka is at 4.6%, 4.8%, honorable members, mainly because of the lack of funding. The same applies to Mbale Industrial Park, where the roads stood at 47%, water stood at 7%, and the project were stalled due to unpaid arrears, but those were financed during this financial year, and the contractor has resumed work. Mr. Chairman, on page 15, the financial performance as per 31st December 2025, that's this financial year, we are at percentage of releases spent to us at 87%. Mr. Chairman, again, that is because there are procurements underway in this financial year, and of course the wage needs to be, staffing, we are still in the recruitment, and we should be able to absorb that wage. And if we go to, Mr. Chairman, to page 18, physical performance for the half year, July to December this financial year. Objective 2 was to increase access, market access, presence and competitiveness of Ugandan goods and services. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, honorable minister, we licensed 260 projects with a projected USD 1.9 billion investment and 28,000 jobs approximately. We monitored 110 licensed investors with USD 1.9 billion actual investments and 47,000 jobs. We submitted 3 non-tariff barrier proposals to AC Secretariat and tax recommendations to MOVPED. And of course, we also supported the transition of traders to manufacturing. These include Family Grain Masters Limited, Cab Links Establishment Limited, Wanzara and Brothers Limited, Muje Tukole Agro Processors Limited, among others. Mr. Chairman, again on page 19, to increase market access, presence and competitiveness of Ugandan goods and services, we processed 12,277 transactions in the one-stop center. We reduced the time for licensing to 23 hours, surpassing the 48-hour directive from His Excellency the President. We signed service level agreements with the MDAs in our one-stop center, enhancing coordination and improving service delivery. Mr. Chairman, on page 20, under Objective 2, increase market access, presence and competitiveness of Ugandan goods and services. We promoted 27 investment profiles targeting to attract investors in Karamoja and Greater Masaka, focusing on tourism, manufacturing, commercial agriculture, agro-processing. We conducted 29 investment promotion engagements, generating 208 leads, resulting in 20 companies being licensed with projected investment of $38 million US. On our objective on develop the requisite infrastructure to support secondary and tertiary manufacturing. Mr. Chairman, we already talked about the progress in the industrial parks that is still ongoing in Kapeka and Mbale. We also leased land.
Bwana DG,
yes, Chair.
Can you please focus on the key challenges and then go to the financial projections and the MTF allocations?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In terms of our challenges in implementing our UIM mandate, that's on page 23. The major one really is limited MTF allocations and resources for investor outreach that constrain planning, delivery, and program delivery. And of course, awareness campaigns. So we need support on that. And of course, we have the ambitious task of infrastructure development in our industrial parks, and also maintaining the parks that are already in existence. So we need the insufficient resources to develop the infrastructure, but also maintain the ones that we've got already. In other words, most of our challenges are related to financing. So, Chairman, in terms of our projection for the next financial year, a total, Mr. Chairman, of 296.08 billion has been appropriated, and of course, for infrastructure development, our project has been extended to September 2026. For the financial year 2026-27, the proposed budget for wage is 13.292 billion, non-wage 20.898, development, that's mainly our industrial park development, Mbale, Kapeka, and counterpart funding to KIBP, Namamve, 262.92 billion, giving us a total of 297.11 billion. That's for the projection in the next financial year, Mr. Chairman. In terms of the key priority interventions, Chairman, for the 26-27, we'll strengthen our investment promotion and investor outreach, both domestically and internationally. We are focusing very much on enhancing the domestic investment base in our country. We shall enhance access to finance and markets for domestic investors and SMEs. Mr. Chairman, we shall implement on page 27 the front office operation management services for the one-stop center, such that it's a seamless experience for an investor in a one-stop center. We shall operationalize the Invest Uganda digital investment management system, which will serve as an integrated single window platform for domestic and foreign investment. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, we shall identify, package and promote investment opportunities in key sectors, particularly under the ATMs for high impact investments. We shall continue to facilitate aftercare for our investors, for our licensed investors, and continue to solve their various challenges through our one-stop center. Mr. Chairman, on page 28, we shall complete infrastructure works in Namave and continue works in Mbale and Kapeka, and we shall commence infrastructure for new industrial parks. We hope to start that for Kasese Industrial Park, the expansion of River Namatale in Mbale, and we are completing the DC process, development committee process, for a number of industrial parks, regional industrial parks, and hope to start development in the next financial year. Planned activities and outputs for the financial year under the intervention to promote affordable agriculture financing and mechanisms. Mr. Chairman, we shall develop 20 investment opportunities in agro-processing, value addition, commercial and agriculture in the different sub-regions to attract investments. We shall also do foreign-based investments, 20 foreign agro-based investments in our country. Mr. Chairman, in development of industrial parks and free zones, we've talked about, I believe I've already talked about that. We shall complete Namave. We shall continue our infrastructure in Mbale and Kapeka, but also start the new, complete the DC process and start negotiations on other projects. Oh, I continue. Mr. Chairman, on page 32, undertake investment promotion, one of our core roles. We shall develop the investment promotion of materials and disseminate them widely. We shall conduct outward investment promotion missions in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs under a economic and commercial diplomacy program. We shall at least have 20 inward investment exploratory missions facilitated by our missions abroad. And we shall hold international forums, at least 4 regional ones, to attract FDI and domestic investment. And we also shall hold those for our domestic investors here. We already had one recently when we were launching the investment profiles for Greater Masaka region. We shall continue to do that.
What, page 30?
30?
These are, you're already going into those details.
Yes.
I meant go to 37 and conclude.
Mr. Chairman, I think yes, Mr. Chairman. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We submit our presentation here. We request to submit because most of them are related to what.
Okay, it is okay. Just go to them. We need to understand them.
Yes. I request. Yes.
They are for the future. Just go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Our future plans really are to continue our infrastructure development. We need support in continue to secure land for investment from our different local governments, and of course complete our infrastructure development. Those are our planned activities for the next financial year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I submit. The prayer, the last prayer is, it's our prayer, the prayer of Uganda Investment Authority that this Honorable Committee of Parliament of Finance, Planning and Economic Development considers the MPS for UIA for this next financial year. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Minister and the DG from UIA and your team. First of all, I would like to thank you, and genuinely thank you, because we know, we know you have made sure you execute what we want as a country and what the President has guided, and particularly making sure we can sustain ourselves by having growth of manufacturing facilities without importing. So that's why, actually, when we are engaging with URA, we are trying to make sure that we are reducing the importation and the duty, the revenue that comes out of the importation, because we are able to sustain ourselves, on the other hand, given the manufacturing concerns we have. So when we see you adding more energy and pushing this agenda, we want to appreciate. And going forward, of course, I will tell you, would want to see most of these areas being able to do value addition. The ATMs we are talking about, manufacturing, you know, that value addition, and be able to move into the regional markets and beyond. Critically, that's why we want to enforce, an Honorable Minister, when we are drumming the concerns of UNBS, is when our manufacturers are here and their products are not certified, they'll move away, because we have an MOU with the East African countries that every certified product coming from Kenya, Tanzania, or elsewhere into Uganda will be accepted to enter and compete with the rest. So it is incumbent upon us as leaders, as government, to make sure what these manufacturers are doing are expeditiously certified and are able to go and compete in the market and in the region. So I want to thank you and want to give you assurance that as a committee, as Parliament, and as government, of course, we know the Minister will even, has already said this, we are ready to support you. Honorable colleagues, I was guided that we needed to start with Honorable Choma and Honorable Anifa, and yes, because they had, and Ochoa, because they had missed in the previous. Okay. Go on record, please.
On Chair, on my side, I do appreciate what Uganda Investment Authority is doing. First of all, what they are saying about industrial parks. Only maybe my concerns, the young men we are retooling, how best can we equip them so that when they are exiting, they should be useful citizens outside there for the period they are being trained. The tailoring, if we're able to provide a simple baking machine, we do appreciate. Maybe that goes directly to the Minister.
Okay, I think the Honorable colleague is saying we should marry our skilling into the needs of the manufacturers, so that when we are able to skill them, able to go directly into the manufacturing facilities and get jobs. Yes, Honorable. Yes, Agnes. Yeah. No, I'll come back. I'll come back.
Chair, thank you very much. They are complaining that I jumped the queue. Look at this one. Thank you very much. And thank you so much, the Minister and UIA, for the great job. Reading on the performance and what you guys are doing, it gives us hope that we are really in a right trajectory on our industrialization agenda. However, I have one or two issues. One is that when you talk about investors in this country, most people think that investors are foreign. And from all these submissions you've made about licensing investors and all that, it would be important for us to know the category of these investors that you license. Are they foreign? Are they local? So that it's easier for us to really talk to our people and say, if you have such, I know there are incentives, different levels of incentives for these investors, so that we encourage more of our local investors into these industrial parks. The second issue is on monitoring these investors. As you were entering, we were talking, I think, that was PPDA, where we have seen foreign investors come, get the license from you as local, for them to go and outcompete the local people in the normal market, because they know that issue of local content and stuff. So I would want to hear from you what monitoring and compliance mechanism that you are putting in place to actually follow up these investors. Do they get your licenses just for their own interests, or they actually get and go and invest and achieve the specific targets that you give them? Otherwise, we are going to count so many numbers of investors, but down there, there is no impact. They are using the licenses to achieve their own kind of interests. I thank you so much. Oh, finally, sorry, Chair. On page 6, on the infrastructure development project performance, it is very concerning that we are doing well with externally financed infrastructure development of these parks. But for the government funded, we seem to be really lagging behind. And if, for example, I think Kapeka, which is still at 4.8%, and yet the end date was supposed to be November 2025. I would want to hear from the minister if our strategy now is industrialization. How come that as a country we are not investing in the parks that should be driving this agenda?
Deal with this straight away. I have good news for Honorable Payer.
Okay, please go ahead and...
that we have provided 200 billion for development of industrial parks. It is not in this document, it will come in the main. It will come in the estimates.
Okay. Yes, Honorable
Chair.
Yes.
Honorable Chair, my concern, first of all, let me appreciate the good work that Uganda Investment Authority is doing.
Yes.
And we are happy for that. At least we've checked Mbali. I have been in Kapeka. I know you're doing good work. But my concern is that, for example, we came out with the Acholi investment profile for our sub-region was supported by Operation Well Creation. How do we get such kind of profile into your system? Then secondly, when I look at page 30, you are giving areas that plan activities and output. And you are saying you are looking to areas like Ankole, Bunyoro, Busoga, Lango, West Nile, and you have not indicated the Acholi sub-region. When you are looking at agro-processing, and we know we have a lot of land, fortunately, my minister for finance, Honorable Henry, has been in Acholi sub-region. He knows there is a potential for agro-processing in the area, and I'm wondering why you are not indicated that. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Hanifa.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, UIA, for the job well done. I personally am part of Namavi. My concern is, I don't know what arrangement you have with NEMA, but some of these structures are built in swampy areas. And then in between there, you constructed pathways. So when it rains, actually those pathways don't exist anymore, they are flooded. And I've been getting concerns in my residents around there because they use them. I also use them sometimes. So I don't know how you're going to work upon that. But I can see you want to expand, like in Kasese. And Kasese is also rough, the rains. Please, can you don't allocate that land that is totally swampy to investors to avoid inconveniences? I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kefa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I like very much to commend Uganda Investment Authority. I think, first of all, you've grown very steadily over the last 5 years, so congratulations on that. And also the report, you are not just giving us your outputs, but clear, measurable results.
Outcomes.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is clear from your report, and I don't want to ask you about that. But what I don't get from there, and hopefully you can help us to comment on that, is something which is very much out in the public. We are giving the investors a lot of incentives, which partly helps to attract them. We're giving them land tax exemption and other incentives. How is that actually helping us? Have you got any mechanism of how you are actually measuring whether what we are getting out of them is worthy in relation to what we are giving them? Then the other issue I would have been very happy to hear from you, and I don't see it in your report. Some time back, there was a lot of land that was being donated for development. And we are struggling to see how actually we can take possession of that land, fencing it and seeing if it can be developed. I don't see any report about it here. Has it been taken away, having failed to take possession? And then finally, with the current events in the Middle East, probably say around the world, are they creating opportunity for Uganda, or they are reducing investment in our country? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mudimi.
Chair, I also commend you are here for the work well done, specifically the Mbale Industrial Park.
By the way, I wanted to understand, he was talking about Namatale. Namatale, Namatala. Namatala.
Namatala.
It's
Yeah.
Namatala.
Yeah. So the challenge which the investors are putting forward, unreliable power. They want at least a dedicated line to service that park. What was provided by government, it's a mobile, they use a transformer or whatever. So that's an issue. Power, reliable power, and the power outrage. You know, when we closed the Umeme, we say no, Umeme had failed to. But at times the whole day in Mbale, you don't see power in the park, and these are all challenges. Secondly, there are a number of institutions, especially districts, which have donated land to industrial park. To be specific, recently I watched on TV people of Chisoro, where they had donated land to Uganda Investment Authority. And they were saying now government has not done anything. They want to reclaim their land. So which plans do you have? You know, such areas, those mountainous areas, to get such a portion of land, it's not easy. It's like a Bugiswa and it's a bay. So once you, maybe you can get in Rwanda, but
Rwanda is equally.
So we know that once you have that opportunity, why can't you utilize it? Even going as far as even securing, I've seen here, you need only 60 million. So why can't you give them 6 billion for them to first title, for them to have proof of ownership? Because these councils, you know, with the change of leadership, recently, you know, we've just concluded the election, change of leadership, a new team can come in and say, no, what the other group did was wrong, if at all there are new members, and you lose it. And to get it, I want to take up, especially this 6 billion, why can't you get them? They secure first as you look for funding. Yes, 6 billion to secure what you have been given free. Honorable Ministerial and this your sector, please.
Yes, Honorable Kugonza, and Honorable Katesh, and then we conclude.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm told there is institutional memory here with us.
These people are pulling my leg. Thank you very much, Chair. Allow me to join colleagues in thanking the Minister and Uganda Investment Authority for a very, very good presentation. And I'm sure the quality of the report, everybody can attest that is really a quality report, and not only from the way it is made, but the content, because it's been comprehensive. Yes. And I really want to thank the team there. And on the side of government of Uganda, Honorable Minister, I want to thank the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, because for many years, the Uganda Investment Authority was somehow relegated to the periphery in terms of funding, because we were only waiting for the donors. But now we can see effectively government of Uganda taking it up seriously and providing government of Uganda support to Uganda Investment Authority to deliver on its mandate. And this is commendable, and how I wish we could be able to move more in that direction. For Uganda Investment Authority, you have really excelled in many areas. We've seen foreign direct investment growing now just in the north of 3.5 billion US dollars in a year, and that is not mean feat. So we really want to commend you, and you have got so many accolades, so many awards, and all that. But also, because of the promotion, if you look at this particular report, the kind of work that has been done, in 1 year only, we received 87 strategic missions that are coming to scout for investment in this country, and this hosted by Uganda Investment Authority. And as an investment promotion agency, this is not a small achievement, and I want to commend you for that. But also, one of the colleagues mentioned about the aspect of the domestic investors. Our SME department in the Uganda Investment Authority, the Directorate, you can actually see from the SME portal, I think we have about 347. And there's been a lot of effort in terms of mobilizing domestic direct investment. And this should be actually encouraged, because this is a foundation that will be able to secure the economic sovereignty beyond the economic independence of our country. And this is, for me, a very, very good job that is being done. But then when also you look at the one-stop center, the way in terms of the kind of where the worker is being discharged, in terms of the service, you can see the efficiency in terms of the number of days, lowering and easing access to the services, particularly to the investors, both local and foreign. I think we need to appreciate that. Now, Honorable Minister, one of the other big challenges, many colleagues have alluded to this, investors need secure land. Investors need serviced land, whereby it's not about land being available, but there must be access to infrastructure, the roads, the water, the internet, all these other things. And, but we see many even of these others where we have gone free land, actually nothing is moving. But of course also we know the reason is around the issues of funding. I think we need to strategically get into this and see how we can be able to provide more resources to Uganda Investment Authority. Because this country, the development, the 10 growth strategy for our country to be 10-fold growth strategy, actually industrialization plays a very, very important role. It's not only in terms of availing products, but also providing the market to the people, the products that are being produced locally as raw materials and all that, issues of technology transfer and all that. And this should be the foundation, and we really need to support it so that we can see our country going to the next level. But also, through Chair, I don't want to overstep my mandate as a member of the committee, but it would be important to ask the Minister and the Uganda Investment Authority to organize a visit to the industrial parks. There is a lot that is happening, so that we can get just first-hand appreciation of what is happening there, so that when you come to the boardroom, to discuss, to these committee rooms, then we are more informed, other than beyond the reports, but we get to physically appreciate. Many Ugandans out there may not actually know. If you want to look at, to determine, to tell how a country is moving, you look at the aspect of the self-presence of the products. If you go to any shop, like in my village in Kaisekenkere in Kibale district, actually 80% of the products that are there are made in Uganda, which are being used on a daily basis in our household. And this is a very good measure, and it actually shows that a lot is happening, and all this is coming through our industrial parks. But also in terms of the exports, then when you look at the complexity, you will actually be able to see we are now kind of exporting even more complicated, more complex products that are coming from industrial parks, including motor vehicle manufacturing and issues like computers. Even some of the phones that are being used here are being produced in our industrial parks, courtesy to Uganda Investment Authority's work, and of course with the other agencies of government. And for sure, we really need to appreciate you and also try to look at all ways of providing support so that you can continue to deliver on your mandate and grow Uganda to the level everybody needs it to be. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I thank the UIA team. But also, I think we should acknowledge that the Honorable Msas, this time, the level of dedication, I don't know, he has been with us for the last 3 days. We have been with him for the last 5 years, but this time he has been exceptional. I don't know whether it was a very good win in Rwanda. So I have never seen. So this level of patience and.
Honorable Katesh, I need to remind you that we have him in prayer to remain stable.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I commend the work done by UIA, and for me, I am also a small investor in my own way, especially in tourism. It is my passion. But I want to tell you that one of the problems in tourism is that you have licensed people who have failed to meet commitments. Where the minister comes from in Rwanda, from Kabale to Rwanda, it's a beautiful place. There is supposed to be stops for tourism, tourist areas for tourist stop, but from there up to Chisoro, there is nothing. And there are people who have licenses holding them for years. And now they are vending them around. So what happens with the government? If someone has said he needs a license in a forestry land to do a project, promote tourism, and then he keeps it, yet you have given him 4 years to do the project, what do you do to such investors? Because you don't want briefcase investors or people who are just holders of licenses. I would like to hear what you, particularly in the tourism sector. It also applies for, I think, the road to Kasese. But back to your presentation, first of all, we commend you. It's very well arranged. And one of the questions I had, the minister has preempted it because you were talking about completing Kapeka, but then it was here in unfunded. Kapeka and Mbare, unless someone has not gone there, you cannot appreciate how important it is for us to have industrial parks. The people who used to be in that small town, now you can pass there during the day and you don't see any any young men loitering around town because they are in industrial parks working. So we must invest in the industrial parks to improve and make sure that they expand and we have more industries so that our young people can get jobs. When I come to the last time we engaged, I challenged the UIA that you need to do more because you are licensing people very quickly, which is commendable. You have attracted them, they have come. Now, there are other things which you should be concerned about as a ministry, as UIA. And maybe if we need to change your mandate, to be able to put your foot down, you put it down so that the investors are better facilitated. For example, what is the cost of doing business in this country? If an investor has come, but there is a lot of red tape across the whole government value chain, what does UIA do? For example, do we know now our level of competitiveness as a country? If we say we are an attractive investment destination because of good people, good weather, young workforce, is that enough for us to be at the top of competitiveness in Africa to attract investors? So what more can we do? Number two, issues of access to electricity. How long does it take? You have brought an investor, he has applied for electricity, and it takes a month. He needs a transformer, a three-phase. You have done your part, but this investor is suffering. I have people in my constituency, they are small investors, mirrors, but getting a three-phase is a problem. And they may be employing 20 people, but they are investors. So what do we do with that? Certifications. My chair has talked about NEMA. There are very many products that are not licensed, but they have applied for UNBS, they have applied for UNBS, and because of no certification, they can't go into the market. So what can be done by government? NEMA, to get the environmental impact assessment, it is still manual. I don't know whether they have now automated it. It's a problem. These are things that affect investors. Water, connection. When you come to tourism, the issues of ICT, they are a problem. And then finally, no, maybe before that. So these services that you have at one-stop border post, where you want to enhance coordination, I have seen page 27. Can you introduce some service level agreements that have a comparing effect to say that there must be consequences? If someone has applied for electricity connection and it takes 2 months, are there any consequences? So this is where we need to reach as government. Say, for us to have proper facilitation, there must be KPIs for everybody facilitating investment. Then finally, what is your input into the tax policy? Because you have been with these investors, I'm sure you have their outcries. Do you have an input? Do you have a research department that actually advises the minister to say, Honorable Minister, we attracted 50 investors, but their environment in terms of policy has these and these bottlenecks. Then the minister can be able to come up with a policy. I know, for example, some of the investors here who are having challenges exporting in the ESC. I know that roofing is one of them and many others. So these are your investors. Don't license them and stop there. Engage them, find out what are their pains. And if those pains are in the tax policy area, then you have to advise the minister where he needs to touch. And this committee is committed to supporting UIA because your job is to attract investors. And we need investors to create jobs because we have been elected. And the biggest pressure we have is youth unemployment. And for that matter, we must support your sector.
Thank you, Honorable Katesh. I think your submission was exhaustive. I think we allow finally Honorable Isaac in 2 minutes because we are time constrained.
Thank you, Chair. Isaac Otemgiu, Member of Parliament, PPDA County. Yes, not a designated member of this committee, but a very interested member on today's topic. Sorry, I arrived a bit late. Remember, our chair, Uganda Investment Authority, was with us in March 2022. Yes, in March 2022, during the launch of our regional industrial park for West Nile. Nebi at Omvoro Park was gazetted to be West Nile's hub for industrial park. It is so saddening that up to today, 3 years down the line, nothing in form of any form of development has been done in that industrial park at Omvoro in Nyaravuru. And the community is a bit worried.
At where?
In Omvoro village in Nyaravuru, Angal Town Council, Nebi District. Yes. Yes. I hope the word Omvoro doesn't mean something else in other languages.
No. We wanted to capture the words.
Thank you very much.
Allocation properly.
Thank you very much. So yes, that was almost about 510 acres. The local government of Nebi went through a lot in terms of mobilizing funds and purchasing that land. There had to be budget reorganizations for that. So for up to date, nothing has happened in that area, and that is one of the questions that I wanted to raise on this matter. Secondly, there is a bit of regional imbalance in terms of investments within our regions. You will find that most of the investments in industrial park are within Kampala, Jinja, and now it has extended to Mbale corridor, leaving out other parts of the country. And that alone has created imbalance in terms of investment, in terms of employment within our areas. And if you can see, out of the 25 plus investment parks which were gazetted to be developed, I think as of 2021, I read somewhere only 1 in 20 have completed feasibility studies. So are we just actually allocating these industrial parks and then leaving them there? It reached an extent whereby His Excellency the President had to now write a letter requesting that local governments themselves come in to start lobbying for investors. So is that an indication that Uganda Investment Authority is failing in its mandate? So those are some of the areas I wanted to touch on. Can you inform us when you are going to start actually developing the industrial park in Nebi? Thank you very much.
Honorable Wanda.
Thank you so much, Chair.
It may be half a minute because,
Allow me applaud the Honorable Minister and the Investment Authority for the good work. Permit me to also say that your presentations have always been the best. Away from that, Honorable Minister, there are some small things that I should, okay, they are small in my view. The issue of power and water, if we are talking about industrial parks, I think this should be this should be the first issues to be settled. When you talk of Mbale Industrial Park, there is an issue with the drainage. Yes, you've hinted on it, Namatala River. But then behind there, where the industrial park neighbors the community, the wastewater from the industrial park has not been provided for well. So the community grapples with the foul smell coming from it. And I think I wanted to bring it to the Director General. Now, there is this specific, the key unfunded and underfunded activities.
I think that one we agreed we negate it.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, Honorable. I want to thank you, Honorable Minister, and Bwana DG and your team from the Uganda Investment Authority. And you've heard from colleagues genuinely tell you how we appreciate your performance. And indeed, we know there's still room for you to perform even better. You've heard from the guidelines, from the observations. So, unfortunately, we would have had a detailed engagement, but we are time constrained. So I'd like to request, through the Honorable Minister, that this committee can get time and have a hands-on and eyes-on in one of these industrial parks, preferably those which are not very far, given that we are also busy these days. Maybe Kapeka Industrial Park, we go there, have a look, and then you give us that detail. So the sooner we do this, maybe after Easter, before we get so busy, the better. So, Honorable Minister, your last shots, and those issues that have been brought to you, we want to request you to put them in writing, and then you forward them to our clerk by closure of business tomorrow. Thank you so much. Honorable
Thank
Minister.
you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank
sorry. The one for Isaac.
Muchiza will answer.
Yes.
Please, can you wait? I want to thank you, Chair, and the committee for the support you have given Ministry of Finance, Uganda Investment Authority, and industrialization generally. The points you have mentioned are the key issues the President highlighted. Also in our ATMs, we have the 4 ATMs and 10 enablers. One of the enablers of our ATMs is industrial park development. Industrial park development, mainly we are looking at 3 aspects. We are looking at the road. The roads in industrial parks must be good. The industrial parks must have water and sewerage working. The industrial parks must have electricity, reliable electricity. Short of that, these investors will not keep asking. They will run away. They will go where these things can be provided. Therefore, in this budget, we have been deliberate. We are intentional. We are going to start on the development of infrastructure development in the industrial parks. And we are mainly looking at Kapeka, Mbale, Buyikwe, and this one of Namanga, which is already work in progress. And then when we finish, we add others. So, Mr. Chair, I want to appeal for your continued support, because those of you, even in the towns, the issue of jobs for the young people is something we cannot really gloss over as leaders. And where are the jobs? The jobs are mainly in the factories. Value addition for the goods, where do we add value from? Within the factories. If we want import substitution, the factories will give us all this. Therefore, I am happy you are supportive. And this proposal of visiting our industrial parks around, I think it is timely. Even when you believe, I am sure when you see, you will strengthen your belief. You will become ambassadors of these processes, because Parliament interfaces with various stakeholders. You can be there on your external trip. You want to market Uganda. In order to market Uganda properly, you need to have information about what is in Uganda. If it is tourism of Katesh, you need to know what Katesh offers in tourism. You need to know, if we are in factories, you need to know what products. For instance, if we asked what are our key products, we are saying, who Dr. Emery is saying, most of the products his people are consuming in the village are manufactured in Uganda. But which products are these? Mr. Chairman, we need to visit the industrial parks and get to know this information. I was amazed when I went to Mbale. There are trucks which go to South Sudan, which come to road products from Mbale now to where? South Sudan. They no longer get products from outside, then they pass through here, go to South Sudan. So, Mr. Chairman, Uganda has a lot of potential, but we need the support. And I'm happy with this strategic approach, the strategic thinking of the committee. I am sure if we continue looking at things like this, we shall achieve His Excellency the President to achieve his mission of industrializing this country. I now want to...
Before the DG comes in, I would like to give testimony myself.
Yes.
I have been here for some time and privy to the importations, and Honorable Katesh is aware. I remember in the late 1990s and early 2000s, we were net importers of tiles from Italy and, everywhere. But right now, you can be very sure, majority of the tiles that are being used in Uganda are from our industrial parks, goodwill, materials from here and so on. So we are speaking to facts that we are alive to. Yes, please conclude. Please conclude.
Please conclude. Especially address your mind on the issues of the land.
Yes.
Isaac, Soro.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Particularly in Isaac, I remember I was with you there in Nebi. As you know, we did the border markers. We have got the title, Honorable Isaac, and we completed the feasibility study for Nebi. We are in the Development Committee in the final stages. In around 2 to 3 months, depending on the sitting of the Development Committee, we should get a project code, as you know, and then we start the negotiations. The developer has already been identified, so we are ahead in that process for you. So, but thank you very much for the patience, and we know that's important, and it's one of the key new industrial parks that we are going to.
You have to inform those people there to
I
know.
will do so. I will do so immediately through him. I know most of them. Yes. He knows I'm from your place. Yeah. Erusi, Padoro, you know I'm from there. Yeah. Thank you, Honorable. And of course, for Kisoro, it's the same answer. We have the title. We did
licenses who have not done the... Katesh asked about people who hold licenses.
Yes.
To establish some developments along our highways, and they don't do anything. Who has given licenses? This question was given to you. Yeah, we have an
Honorable Katesh and members of Parliament through you, Chair.
Is Honorable Katesh Shumba, Dixon.
Honorable Katesh Shumba. We now have a framework with the UWA, Uganda Wildlife Authority. Actually, we have signed an MOU because that has been a challenge. Licenses are issued by UWA. For us, we issue investment licenses. But we entered into an MOU so that we evaluate whichever investor should be given a UWA license. Why are we doing that? Because we wanted to go through their business proposals to understand critically whether these are eligible and have the capacity to invest. I think that was your concern. Now we have the investors we are licensing are credible investors. So I promise you in the next milestone, you will be seeing these investors who are setting up those hotels. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. And like we agreed, we have only 10 minutes. We have a session which starts at 2. So we'd like to thank you for the presentation. Like I've said, you need to give us more information from the concerns that were generated by members. I saw one of my colleagues who came in, I think he was somewhere, he was delayed. He has an issue, I'll ask him to put it in writing and send it to you also, Honorable Mara. Yes, he'll give it to you in writing so that it comes part of that. We thank you so much, and we want to assure you, but also you missed the cutting issues. They were not there. We want you to bring them out. That's why members were talking about wetlands and all that. Please bring them out in your reply, in your response. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Thank you for enduring. Thank you, Honorable colleagues, and meeting adjourned. We'll communicate when to meet again.
owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Monga and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself, and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
The stage is a world of entertainment. Get the latest entertainment, lifestyle, events and activities. Chats with celebrities that make headlines.
It's your girl Zari, Mama Tifa. I'm in town, I'm in Uganda.
It's showbiz. Join me, Mary. I intend to connect you to a lot of fun. Cause I know you want it, you love it, you enjoy it. All on Powerful Level Magazine, reloaded for you right here on UBC. Don't miss out every Saturday, 12 p.m.
Teens Crown, an amazing off-the-hook youth program, brings you an array of fun, exciting, and educative segments you do not want to miss. From red carpet moments to proms, youth empowerment programs to youth gig vibes, and so much more, Teens Crown will get you hooked. Only on UBC TV, every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss.
You say that I blow his mind every time I'm activated. You just trying to catch a vibe. CC got you fascinated. Jump up on your brand new ride. BMW riding, baby. I ain't gonna tell you lies. That's just how
we run one of the biggest live audience TV shows in the land.
Can't go with it, I got glory, glory, glory. Hey, now you tell me.